Okay, so first, downloading fonts. The website that I recommend going to is dafont.com. There are others out there, but this one is usually pretty high caliber. There aren't that many fonts that are corrupted on it. So that's the one I'm going to show. And it's dafont.com, so just search that. Once you get there, there are lots and lots of fonts. There are categories, and you can choose a general category based on what you're doing. One thing I like about the categories is once you click into a category, you can actually type what you're going to write, and you can see what it's going to look like when you go there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose sans serif fonts. Those are the more modern looking fonts that don't have decorative little end pieces on them. So they're more, block letters, or in some cases they're just very simple. Now, if you want to see what you're going to write, what it looks like, then you go right here where it says preview. And I'm just going to type change the world. I'm using upper and lowercase, and then I'll click submit. So notice now it shows me what that would look like. And in some cases the fonts are all caps. That means that typographer did not design a lowercase to go with that font. These are all free fonts, and so they're designed by, in some cases, people that are promoting their typography business. In some cases, it's people that are just more amateur but are enjoying making fonts and they want to share them. There's definitely variety in terms of the quality of these. So, be discerning when you look. Kind of try to choose ones that are really legible, that look like they're done well. As you go to choose one, and let me actually just jump over here and grab one. So basically go and choose it by saying download. From there, it's going to show up in the bottom of your browser window, and also it's going to go get downloaded into your download folder. So if you go here, click on your desktop, and then go to downloads, you'll see it there. And these are ones I've downloaded so far today. So the one that I just downloaded was called, let's see if I remember, it was called Doc, which is a weird name. So it's this one, these files. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to double click to unzip it. And then once it's unzipped, I'm going to go to the actual font file itself, and I'm going to double click. And it's going to give me the little install font box. And when I click this one, it's going to install it into the operating system of the computer. So it's going to be available on any app that uses type. So whether it's InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, Keynote, Pages, whatever. So I'll say install. Now sometimes, and this is actually a nice example, sometimes it'll tell me that there's problems with the font. And I recommend that in that case, get out of it, don't install it. And the reason is that if you install a corrupted font, it can cause your type tool to act really buggy. And so you'll have lots of problems. So it's not worth it. I would go back and I would search some more. Okay, so avoid that. Any of them, if it tells you it has a problem, just to, go back and avoid it. And let me go grab something else. I want kind of a bold, solid. So once again, I'll download it. That one's American Purpose. I can go down here to open it. And then I'm going to open the folder. And this is kind of nice because it shows me a lot of different options for the same font. So there's ones that have, just different looks to them. You can install all of them or just one of them depending on what you want. I would recommend if there's a option between the OTF and the TTF, choose TTF, which stands for True Type Font. So go ahead and you'll just install. Now before you can, and I'm getting, wow, that's weird, 2 in a row. Let's see if one of these other ones works. Now that's what's giving me to all of them. I'm just going to install it. Let's see how it works. Okay, so once you install, then you're going to want to close your app. I'm closing Photoshop. I'm going to relaunch it. That way when it loads, it's going to load my font. Otherwise I won't see it. And then I would just go and find it. And I don't remember the name of that one, so I'll just go to one that I used earlier, or I installed earlier. So I installed this one earlier. I'll go ahead and go to that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a new empty document just to show you a little bit about the type tool. Remember when you guys are making your new empty document that for this project, it's 8 by 10 or 10 by 8, 150 for the resolution. I will not accept anything other than that for this. Okay, so I recommend that you start from a brand new empty document and drag your artwork to it, as opposed to just working on whatever background picture you happen to find. That's a really bad habit to get into, so don't do that. You want to know what size you're working on. You don't want to just grab anything and begin. So, you can name it last name, first name, Reflections. Okay, so type tool is here in the toolbar. Once I choose it, it gives me the type options. And to type, all you do is click and type. Now one thing I want you to avoid doing is making a type box and then typing. Okay? Avoid making the type box and then typing unless you're working with a paragraph of type, a lot of type. Because there's things you can't do with the type box that you can do if you do it the other way. So only type box for paragraphs only. So just click and then type. Oops. And then if you want to change fonts or change color, I'm also going to click the check mark saying that I'm done. So that if I want to change fonts or change color, I highlight it. I can change the color through here. And then I can change the font through here. And if you click, you'll see there's, a little mini picture of what the different fonts are going to look like. Another thing that's really great to do is to scroll through the fonts. And to do that, you just click so that the little type box is highlighted. You'll see a blue outline around it. And then you use your up and down arrows to scroll. So if I use the up arrow, I'm scrolling up the list. If I use the down arrow, I'm scrolling down the list. I recommend you choose something that is easily legible, easy to read, not too crazy. So the scrolling is really handy. You can also, if you want to, from your Windows option in the menu bar, you can open up the character panel, which also gives you a shortcut to the type tools, and it's a little bit more involved over here. You can also click from Essentials into Design, and that's also going to give you the little character panel, which lets you get to changing fonts, and it also lets you adjust spacing, which is nice. When you're looking at your type tool, you'll see there's some options. The first two are basically fairly normal type tool options. The horizontal type writes just like normal from left to right. The vertical type writes downward. I would recommend that you avoid that for the most part because it's hard to read type that's written in that way. Especially lowercase type. You can get away with it with simple blocky letters, but if you've got anything crazy going on, it's going to be too hard to read. The bottom two type tools are mask tools. They allow you to put pictures inside of letters. We're going to do a project using that, but it's really kind of complicated, so let's avoid that for now. We'll do that later.